Hi, I'm Barbara Rumkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. Back in the 1800s, Exeter had 14 separate public schools. For comparison, today there are 5, and of them, the middle school is actually in Stratham, so maybe 4 is more accurate. Why so many schools? Well, kids walked to school back then, so the school needed to be near the students. Most of Exeter's people lived near the downtown. Those schools were well maintained, but very crowded. Here's the elementary school on Grove Street. There are 47 students being taught by Miss Mary Webster. That cannot have been easy. And no, kids were not better behaved than they are today. School report after school report criticizes teachers who cannot keep order, and sometimes it was downright dangerous to be a teacher. Then again, the teachers were allowed to use corporal punishment, so it could also be painful and humiliating to be a student. Schools on the outskirts of town might only have 10 students. The schools at Kingston Road, Hampton Road, Epping Road, and Newmarket Road were ungraded, which meant that although the teacher had fewer students, they had to contend with a much broader age range. There might be a 5-year-old learning the alphabet sitting next to a 13-year-old who was memorizing geography. Students went home for lunch. Lessons were learned by rote. Most of the one-room schoolhouses are long gone. Here's one that was located on Kingston Road, sometimes called the Pickpocket School because it was near Pickpocket Falls. And that's just a bad pronunciation of an Abenaki word, pickpocket. We don't have a merry band of adorable singing pickpockets in Exeter. This little schoolhouse, which was on Newmarket Road, now called Newfields Road, after its closure, it was briefly used as a pest house to quarantine smallpox cases. Because they didn't serve a lot of children, these rural schools were not well maintained. None of them had water for hand washing, and the outhouses, which were moved annually, were sometimes very poorly placed. The facilities at the Hampton Road School was once placed right outside the school windows, allowing the scent to waft into the schoolroom. That same school had floorboards that were so warped, Dr. Perry said, its uneven, billowy floor and hearth surged like the sea in a storm. A few of the far-flung schools closed when there weren't enough students. Others found it was better to pile all the kids into a wagon to send them to the town schools. When streetcar service was established between Exeter and Hampton, the Hampton Road students were lucky enough to be right on the line. They were given vouchers to ride the trolley to school, and their local school was closed for good in 1900. They must have been the envy of the town kids who still had to walk. I really think the primary school teachers had the toughest job. Not only did they have to contend with really large numbers of students, and here's the Hall Place primary school, where shoes were optional. Sometimes parents would send the younger siblings to school if they were too busy. And that might be what's going on with this little tyke. He looks to be about 3 or 4. But I mean, what's one more when you've got 37 other wiggly students to teach? I think this teacher's face says it all. For more information on Exeter schools or Exeter history, check out our website at www.exeterhistory.org.